are now listening to a true horror story. Uncover hidden truths, ancient legends, and unexplained mysteries, where the unknown begins and reality bends from beyond truth. Dim the lights, put on your headphones, and don't look behind you, because what you're about to hear might just be real.
The Demon of Amityville, a legacy of fear. The name Amityville conjures a chilling image for anyone remotely familiar with the supernatural. It's a name synonymous with malevolent spirits, a house steeped in blood, and a family driven to the brink of terror. While countless haunted locations across the United States lay claim to their own spectral residents, few have burrowed so deeply into the collective consciousness or sparked such fervent debate as the unassuming Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. This isn't just a ghost story, it's a foundational horror narrative of the modern era, a true crime turned true haunting that continues to unravel our understanding of what lies beyond. The saga of Amityville begins not with ghosts, but with a horrific act of violence. On November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr., known as Butch, meticulously murdered his entire family, his parents, Ronald Sr. and Louise, and his 4 younger siblings, Dawn, Allison, Marcine, and John Matthew, as they slept in their beds. He used a .35 caliber Marlin rifle, and inexplicably, all 6 victims were found lying on their stomachs. DeFeo later claimed that voices in the house had compelled him to commit these heinous acts, a defense that was ultimately rejected in court, leading to his conviction. The sheer brutality and chilling premeditation of the murders left the quiet, affluent community of Amityville reeling. The house, once a symbol of suburban tranquility, was now a monument to unimaginable horror, forever stained by the blood of the DeFeo family. Just over a year after the murders, in December 1975, a new family, the Lutz family, George and Kathleen Lutz and Kathleen's 3 children from a previous marriage, Daniel, Christopher, and Missy, bought the house for a surprisingly low price of $80,000. They were aware of the tragic history, but believed that the house itself held no malevolent energy. They were hopeful for a fresh start, a new beginning, and what they perceived as their dream home. They even invited a Catholic priest, Father Ray Pecoraro, later fictionalized as Father Mancuso, to bless the house shortly after they moved in. What transpired during that blessing, however, was the first chilling harbinger of the horrors to come. According to accounts, Father Pecoraro was in the sewing room on the 2nd floor, sprinkling holy water when he reportedly heard a masculine voice clearly state, "Get out." He felt a slap on his face and then became violently ill. The priest reportedly urged the Lutzes not to use that particular room and to stay away from the house. His warnings, tragically, went unheeded. From the moment the Lutzes officially moved in on December 18, 1975, a barrage of increasingly terrifying and inexplicable phenomena began to plague them. The happy new beginning quickly dissolved into a living nightmare. The clock was ticking. 28 days later, on January 14, 1976, they fled the house in terror, leaving almost all their possessions behind. What could have driven a family from their newly purchased home so rapidly and dramatically? The phenomena reported by the Lutzes were varied and deeply disturbing, seemingly designed to chip away at their sanity and sense of security. George Lutz, in particular, experienced profound changes. He frequently woke up at 3:15 a.m., the approximate time of the DeFeo murders, and would feel an inexplicable urge to go to the boathouse or to start a fire. He complained constantly of feeling cold, despite the house being warm, and would spend hours stoking the fireplace. His personality reportedly shifted, becoming more withdrawn, irritable, and even hostile towards his family. He developed an obsession with the house and felt a growing sense of malevolence radiating from it. Kathleen Lutz also bore the brunt of the haunting. She began to have terrifying nightmares, often seeing the grisly murders of the DeFeo family. She felt an unseen presence touching her, sometimes caressing her, other times slapping her. She reported experiencing paralyzing fear, often feeling as if she was being watched even when alone. A particularly unsettling detail was her rapid aging, with her hair turning prematurely gray within weeks of moving in. The children were not spared either. Missy, the youngest, developed an imaginary friend named Jody, a demonic-looking pig creature with glowing red eyes that would appear outside her window. Jody would reportedly communicate with Missy, and Missy would speak of Jody having to stay in the pig's room, referring to the sewing room Father Pecoraro had warned them about. Daniel and Christopher also reported disturbing encounters, including waking up in the middle of the night to strange noises, beds levitating, and unseen forces playing with their toys. One evening, Daniel claimed to have seen red eyes peering at him from the darkness outside his window, matching Missy's description of Jody. The physical manifestations were equally chilling. Doors would slam violently, windows would open and close on their own, and strange odors like putrid decay or cloying perfume would permeate the air. Cold spots would appear abruptly and intensely, often accompanied by the sensation of an unseen presence. Swarms of flies, despite the winter weather, would appear in various rooms, particularly in the sewing room, even after being sprayed. Green slime reportedly oozed from walls and keyholes, leaving behind an acrid, inexplicable residue. Perhaps most terrifying were the disembodied voices and sounds, guttural growls, whispers, footsteps in empty rooms, and the chilling sound of a band playing in the living room when no one was there. Crucifixes turned upside down on the walls, and religious statues were found inexplicably moved or broken. The infamous Red Room in the basement, a small hidden room that wasn't on the original blueprints, became a focal point of dread. The Lutzes described it as having an overwhelming feeling of malevolence, a portal to something truly evil. Their dog, Harry, was terrified of this room and would violently resist being taken near it. After just 28 days of relentless terror, the Lutzes, driven to their breaking point, packed a few essentials and fled in the dead of night. They never returned. Their story, recounted to author Jay Anson, became the basis for the best-selling book The Amityville Horror, A True Story, 1977, which subsequently spawned a hugely successful film franchise, cementing Amityville's place in popular culture. However, the story of Amityville is not without its controversies. Skeptics have long argued the entire haunting was a hoax, a fabricated tale designed for financial gain. Critics point to inconsistencies in the Lutzes' accounts and the undeniable commercial success of the book and films as motives for invention. Doubts were further fueled by William Weber, Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s defense lawyer, who claimed that he and the Lutzes invented the story over many bottles of wine. Weber's credibility, however, has also been questioned, as he stood to benefit from sensationalizing the case. Despite the skepticism, many believe the Lutzes' account. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned demonologists who investigated the house shortly after the Lutzes fled, publicly declared it to be genuinely haunted by an inhuman evil. They reported experiencing powerful negative energy and witnessing several disturbing phenomena themselves. Furthermore, subsequent owners of the Amityville house have reported various lesser but still unsettling phenomena, though none as intense as what the Lutzes described. The DeFeo murders themselves lended chilling credence to the idea that a profound trauma, a horrific energy, was indeed imprinted upon the house. The Amityville haunting continues to fascinate and terrify because it blurs the lines between true crime and supernatural horror. Was it the residue of the horrific DeFeo murders that created a vortex of malevolence? Or was there an older, more ancient evil tied to the land, perhaps even to the Native American burial grounds rumored to be beneath the property? the truth remains elusive, shrouded in conflicting testimony, fervent belief, and lingering doubt. But one thing is undeniable. The legend of the Amityville house and the chilling experiences of the Lutz family have left an indelible mark on the landscape of American folklore, a persistent whisper of fear that continues to echo from 112 Ocean Avenue. Whether you believe it to be a true haunting or a masterfully crafted deception, the demon of Amityville remains a powerful, terrifying narrative of a family's descent into hell, a legacy of fear that continues to haunt our imagination.